welcome back. It's Friday the 28th of December 2018, almost the end of the year. Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas break with family, friends, and got some stitching in or whatever you did to celebrate the Christmas period. We had a very quiet Christmas. I had my niece come to visit us on Christmas Day for lunch. Her mum, which is my sister, my younger sister, she wasn't able to go home for Christmas this year because she was working both, my niece was, sorry, a bit convoluted. My niece was working Christmas Eve and Boxing Day, so it wasn't worth her driving the 4 hours on Christmas Day up to see mum and dad just for lunch to then have to turn around the same day and drive back. It just, you know, obviously it wasn't going to work. So my sister and her husband and my nephew came down for the weekend before Christmas, and they had their Christmas lunch as a family lunch on the Saturday, and they went home on Sunday, and then Em came to us for Christmas Day on Tuesday, which was really lovely, and she left I think about 5 o'clock or something and headed home, and yeah, that was our Christmas Day. So it was really lovely. It was a nice quiet day with just the three of us, which was fine, and the animals, and yeah, I did the big turkey, and we had the Christmas pudding, you know, the usual Christmas dinner we do. So it was nice. It was a very nice day. So I hope everyone else had a lovely time as well. So I've been on holidays since Christmas Eve. So I worked from home Christmas Eve morning. It wasn't really very productive because everyone was on leave. Everyone took leave as of Friday at work just about. So I didn't have a lot on, but I did the right thing and I signed in and signed in until lunchtime, and then I thought, bugger it, I'm signing off. Everyone else would, those that would have been in the office, I know we're allowed to leave at about lunchtime because it's our normal practice on Christmas Eve. So I thought, bugger it, I'm signing off too, and started just fiddling around and doing a few things. And when I haven't been doing Christmassy things, I've been stitching. So I shall show you some of that in a minute. I've also got some stash, which I'll show you as well. I've got some new starts which I've got coming up, which I'll show you. I've got a finish I don't think I've showed you. I should have looked back at my last video, but I'm pretty sure you haven't seen this because I think I've finished it since my video. I did a bit of a recording about 2 weeks ago, which I haven't actually put up because I planned to do more, but I didn't do it. So what I'll do is I'll snip a bit of that and slot it in here somewhere. I don't know where, but we'll slot it in because it's actually, I've got the finish of the Secret Santa gift in that. So I'll have to do a bit of a cut and paste or something. I don't know what I'll do yet. We'll just see what iMovie lets me do, and we'll work that bit out. But for now, let's get on with the show. Oh, before I go on with that, just want to say welcome to my new subscribers. I've had a couple of new subscribers over the last couple of weeks, so thank you very much. It's lovely to meet you, and I hope you enjoy my videos going forward and hang around for future videos. And welcome back to any old subscribers. It's always lovely to see old friends again as well. And thank you for all my comments and the likes. It's lovely to have people to know people actually watching these and hopefully enjoying them. So thank you again. So what are we looking at first? Finish. I think I'm pretty sure I showed you this. So this is a Samplers Not Forgotten design that was in last year's Just Stitch magazine, the Christmas Orny one, and I was working on that and I finished it. So at this stage, this is my last finish for the year. If I get one more finish in, I'll be really happy, but I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, but we'll see what happens. I've still got 3 days, so who knows. So this is the Merry Christmas stocking, or the Christmas stocking I think it was called. The pattern called for it to be done on 40 count vintage fabric, Lakeside Linens fabric, and then essentially the cross stitch was to be 2/2, and the lettering was to be half across over 1. Well, I've done mine on 28, so it's cross stitch obviously is still 2/2, but I did my lettering 1/1 full cross. I think that turned out quite nicely. I was really pleased with that. This is just on a tea coffee dyed fabric that I did myself that didn't actually work out very well, but it actually looks quite nice for this sort of thing because it's sort of a bit dirty colour. what else did I do with this one? I changed the colours, that's right. So the stocking was supposed to be in claret, but I did it in whatever I did it in. 222 double, start again. DMC 221. I'll get that right in a minute. The whitish colour I did in 746, I think. I've got them. Bear with. Rather than me try and remember, excuse the rustling while I pull it out. Yes, so the whitish stripe 746. The green I did in 3011, which was the only called for, I think was 3001. Yes, that should have been endive in Simply Shaker. And I did the lettering in 3787 instead of black, because I didn't want to do it in black. I actually wanted to do it as a softer grey. So there you go. So at this stage, that is my last finish for 2018. With a bit of luck, I'll get another one, but I'm not going to hold my breath, because why would I hold my breath? I would end up not breathing. So from there, I also worked on my 12 Days of Christmas. So this is Little House Needleworks 12 Days of Christmas. If I remember, I will grab a before picture to show you. But essentially I finished 9, 10, 11 and 12. I've done the music notes, the little birdie up there, and also I assume they're like poinsettias maybe. I'm calling them poinsettias, that'll do. The little flowers. So I've just got to do the top border, the side border, and then go down to the bottom and finish that. So my plan was to get this finished before Christmas. My plan is now to try and get this finished before the end of the year. I don't think it's going to happen. And I've actually made a boo-boo, which I shouldn't admit to, but I'm half a bloody stitch out there, and I'm so peeved. Well, you know, one hole, you know what I mean? So that's actually off, which means I've got to pull all that out. But at the moment, I'm leaving it. I will deal with that at another day. This is on Jodery Designs Celebrations 28 count opal Brittany, and it's a bit washed out because of the light from the window, but hopefully you can see it. So yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. I'd like to have got it finished, but when I realised that I'd done all of that, the one stitch off, I just went and got upset with myself and had a new start instead. So I did have a new start, and this was a planned new start, which was Miss Christmas Eve. My plan was always to start her on Christmas Eve, and I did. And this is where she's at the moment. So I've done a little bit of the green of the skirt, but I'm working on the bodice. So my idea is I'm going to go up and do the skin and everything first, and then I'll work back down onto the dress. This is on 32 count Opal Belfast, Silver Springs from Colour Cascade Fabrics. And we can put behind there, we might see. So it's nice and shiny, and it's not quite as dark as that's showing, but it's obviously, I've picked the wrong spot to do the video today, haven't I? But that's okay, it is what it is. So that was Christmas Eve. So I did a little bit of that on Christmas Eve, and I did a bit more on that last night. And I have one more new start, which is part of my plans for Stitch Mania's 12 Days of Stitchmas. And this is, oops, turn off. This is a Leslie Tear design, which is a little 12 Days of Christmas clock face. And I'm hoping that if I stick to this, I will get that actually finished within that 12-day period, which would be cool. Whether I turn it into a clock or not is another matter. I'm not 100% certain if that's what I'm going to do, but we'll see. And I'm just looking to see, I haven't actually written what issue that came out of or what year. Normally I write on the design somewhere when I pull it out of a magazine, but I haven't done it this time. So, but it came from Cross Stitch Crazy. and it will be a few years old, I know that, but so that's it. So this is being stitched on 28 count Jobeling from Pole Stitches. Now I have a piece of the Grass to Sky Pole Stitches, but I'm not doing it on the full. I'm just trying to get a piece of paper to put behind without showing you the pack chart. So this is where I'm up to now. So what I've done is I've actually cut the fabric, so I've got all of the blue rather than the blue, because Grass to Sky goes, well, sky to grass, whichever you want to call it, it goes from blue graduating down into green. I've never found anything that I can stitch on that I'm happy with. I was thinking of all different things to go on that, and in the end I've decided to, you know, not worry about doing that graduation. I'll just use bits of this fabric. So that's it. It's really pretty, quite pretty blue. And so far I have done 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm ahead because I actually did 4 yesterday, but don't tell anybody. So I'll post in the group today that I've done 4. That's for the 4th day. I wanted to get ahead on that because I wanted to spend some time today on Miss Christmas Eve and get ahead on her, because then I want to put her down and get back to this. And hopefully get back to 12 days of Christmas on that one if I can, the little house. But that's it. And I'm using my needle minder. Is the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, because he's got a clock. Bit of a stretch, I know. Now, I'm making some slight changes. In the chart, you will see that the numbers are in black, and they've actually outlined in red. I don't like that. I really, truly don't like that. What I'm doing is I'm doing it in Cryonic red, number 8 braid, and I'm just outlining it in a red DMC. I've also, you probably can't see it, but I overstitched a half stitch on the pear in a gold Cryonic, just the blending filament. I did that in number 8 Cryonic. I've put beads here. I overstitched him in a little bit of Cryonic as well, and I've put beads here instead of French knots. So where I can bling it up a little bit, I'm going to just do little tiny bits of bling here and there to just bling it up, as you do. So that is stitching. That's everything I've done in the last couple of weeks or so. Now, the next thing I've got is a combination of stash and new starts to show you. So the first bits of stash is I got an order of new needle minders. I haven't ordered from Gina for a little while, but she was having a sale, so I had to. So I got these ones. They're so pretty. And in true fashion, I have not used these yet because I haven't shown them on FlossTube. Now I can use them, which is good because I want to use this one. So there's that one, and then there's a candy cane, and then there's these gorgeous ones as well. So there's those, and then I also got myself a new scissor fob. Look at the shine, isn't that so pretty? So it's just a pretty little snowflake scissor fob. And I treated myself to a new little counting pin, which is a poinsettia counting pin. So hopefully you can see that. It's quite pretty, isn't it? So put them over there so I don't lose them. I also, when I was in the shop the other day doing a little bit of Christmas shopping, I saw this in Target, and this is just a gift voucher tin. So I thought, you know what? I'm getting that because perfect for beading or something, putting orts in maybe. I use a little I should have got that. Never mind. I'll show you what I'll do with that. I collect my orts, and I have a little, I suppose you call it, it's a suitcase, but it came from the Body Shop years ago. That was something that they had lip gloss in or something, and I kept that. And it's perfect for my orts. I just tamp them down. I keep them for the year. It's small, so it's handy. It sits next to my stitching spot. And at the end of the year, I get a bauble, those plastic looking glass baubles from Spotlight, and I put all my orts in, and they then hang in the craft room all year round. Okay, moving right along. I've got to be really quick because hubby's going to be home soon. Next bit of stash. I've just literally got this in the mail this morning, so I haven't even opened it up properly to look at it. This is my December limited edition from Jodery, and it's called Carnelian Quartz. Isn't that pretty? 28 count opal Brittany. That might be a nice one for a black work or something such like that. Very pretty. And I also got my threads that I get from her, because I do get also in her Floss of the Month club, so you just get some threads. I won't worry about taking them all out, but there'll be one of the limited editions in there as well as the other ones. The other stuff I've got is I'm starting to, excuse the reach, collect the latest Country Cottage Needleworks one, so the Glitter Village. So this is number 1. So Tammy, and I ordered it from Tammy, I got her to replace the metallic with Petite Treasure Braid, and I've also got all of the pretty little threads to go. Now, this is bamboo. Yes, it is bamboo, which of course is dirty snow. I don't know yet. These are actually quite, I know you probably can't see, but there's actually quite a lot of brown. There's a little bit, you can see the brown. There's quite a lot of brown in this one. The other bamboos I've got haven't got this much brown. It's almost like somebody's dropped it in a pot of tea. So I probably won't use this. I may change it out and do B50. Was that 5200? Yeah, B5200. But we'll see. Because they're all of them have got a real. I don't like dirty snow, so we'll see. I'll just see how it stitches. I'll try it on a couple. If it's not too bad, it might be okay. Yeah, maybe on the roof line might be all right because you've got the brown here, but definitely here I don't want to use it. And yeah, there's the white gate, so it might be all right in some spots, but maybe where there's distinctly snow, or certainly on the snowflakes, I'm not going to use it. I'll use something else. The other bit of haul I've got, this was my Christmas present to myself, and I got these from Nicole at Journey of a Stitcher, who's an Australian seller on Etsy. She's also on Instagram. So I finally got around to buying Pomegranate Santa from Plum Street Samplers. Love, love, love. Been eyeing that off for a while. I've got Goat Load, also from Plum Street Samplers. I'm going to start this on March the 1st with Emily C. And she's doing this as her birthday start and doing a sale for that. So I'm going to join her. And also Leslie Hurley's doing it as well. I'm behind on people's FlossTube, so I know Leslie's doing it. I don't know if anyone else is doing it. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to do it in DMC or the called fors. I'll just pull out some of the called fors I have, some I don't, so we'll just have a little bit of a play and see what we do with that. I also got myself a couple of mirrors, because mirrors, duh, hashtag duh. This is Shakespeare's Fairies, so I've got that one. And this is why I did this order. I was on Instagram and I saw Nicole posted that she had this, and I went, ooh, I'm off. Went over, had a look. She had 2 of them there. I saw someone already had it in their cart, and I'm like, holy, what's it? I've got to get this. So that's why I did the others as well. This is Adia, the Garden Fairy. I have been looking for this for so long because it's an OOP, and I've finally got it, and it is a brand new, not opened pack, so it's not a used one, and reasonably priced. I only paid $28 Australian for it. So that mirror was $20 Australian, I think. So basically reasonably priced. No, not much more than I wouldn't be prepared to pay for it. Now, Aussie Stitcher Belinda has done this and finished it, and it's absolutely stunning. And I know there's a few others, obviously, that have done it, but now I've got it. So all I'm looking for really is I want Christmas flourishes still, and I want Spring Queen. But they'll come, because if everything comes to he who waits patiently. I know it does. Okay, what else have I got here? Yes, I do have some more stuff. So my next slot is a mixture of haul / new start. So I think I've mentioned I'm starting Sleeping Beauty in February with a couple of Aussie stitchers. So Aussie stitcher, Belinda, and Kim, another lady that we know. So we're doing 3 birthday sales. There's one for me, one for Kim, and one for Belinda. So the first one up is Belinda. So Belinda and I are starting Sleeping Beauty in February, and Kim's already done Sleeping Beauty, so she's starting Sleeping Princess. So I should have just taken this out of the thingy-majiggy. So I'm doing, this literally came in the mail today on, it's a really pretty blue. You can't really see the blue. Let's just see if we do it this way. There we go. It's really soft. That's almost right. It's a 32 count opal Lagana, and it's called Ice Ice Baby from Colour Cascade. Absolutely beautiful. I love this. So I'll be getting more of that. And I've got all the beads and all the DMC turned up today as well in the mail, and I'm getting that. I got that from JK's Cross Stitch Supply on Facebook. So that's that. The next thing, so that's a start in February. So stay tuned. In January, I have some new starts coming for the beginning of the year, and these are my January ones. This will be my Halloween one for the year, and I'm saying the year because it'll probably take me at least a year to stitch it. So obviously this is the Quaker Halloween. I'm doing something a little bit radical, and it may be not going to work, who knows, but I'm chosen to do this on, what's it called, Jello Shots from Hand Dyed by Stephanie, and of course blows out because of the light, but it's a green and yellow. It's really quite pretty. It's not quite that bright that's showing, but and instead of black, I'm doing in purple silk. So this is a hank of silk that I got in a grab bag from Silks For You, which is an Aussie seller of silks. I think everybody knows Silks For You because I believe it's the lady who used to be Dinky Dyes, but she's not anymore. And then I'm just going to do white. Now, I'm probably not going to do white. I think I might do it as 746. So it's just a off-white as opposed to bright white. But I'll see. Once I start stitching it, I'll just see how it works out, because there's not a lot of white, but obviously you do want the ghost to stand out a lot. So we'll just see. We'll see what it looks like on that. It might be okay. I'll just see. So that is a new start for January. I have another new start for January, which will also be one I'm going to do for the whole year. And this is 12 Days of Christmas. This is, the designer of this is Maria Diaz. Now this is donkeys years old. It came out of, and I haven't got the issue on it, but it's an old cross stitch collection chart. Now I know this is donkeys years old. I don't even know if there's a way I can find out. 2001. That's when it came out, 2001. So what my plan is, in January I will stitch that one, and then each month I will just stitch a motif as well as a bit of the border, so that I'm not left with the border at the end of the year. So I'm doing this for the Stitch Mania monthly Christmas sale, whatever it's called, where I can. So obviously the first month is C for Christmas Carol, so that will fit in. But also my Christmas Orney blog I will do. We haven't, I don't think they've chosen the actual what they're doing, but one of the things we thought of was redoing 12 Days of Christmas again, so I can do that without any problems. Then yeah, we'll see what happens from there. I'll fit it in with sales as I go. I'm just stitching it on. I'm not going as dark as that, and this is just a piece of plain Joblin. I don't know what colour it is, but it's a grey blue sort of colour. It's not teal, I don't know what you'd call it, but just a piece that was in my stash. So it's just a standard 28 count. I'm assuming it's Joblin. It's not, don't think, it might be Lugana, but it's one or the other. It's very soft, so I think it could be a Joblin. So that's that. And I will do it pretty much in those called for colours with the bits and pieces in that. I'm missing something, aren't I? What am I missing? No, that must be it. So that's the Christmas sale one. Halloween piece is for my Halloween Stitch Mania sale where it works, or for the Halloween Orny blog where it works. What else? What else? Oh, that's the other thing I'm also going to try and start is finally try and start the Farmhouse Christmas sale. But I'll see how I go, because Cross Stitch It's Fun has a Old MacDonald had a farm sale at the beginning of the month in January, and I think that's pretty much a monthly sale. So I'll either do my Little Sheep Virtues and keep stitching on them, or I may start the Farmhouse Christmas sale and use that also as part of that. What else have I got to do? I think that's about it for now on starts. I'm sure there'll be more. Sure there'll be more. So one last little thing I was going to show you is, I may or may not have mentioned my husband's changing career. So at 60, he's going to stop being a financial planner and he's going to turn his hobby into a business. Now his hobby is embroidery, and he also makes toys. But he's bought himself a commercial embroidery machine, and he's going to start doing, and he has started it already. We haven't quite sold the financial planning business, but he's already got stuck into doing commercial embroidery. So he's been doing shirts for people and hats and stuff. And the other day he was playing with a different type of hat, which was a little bucket hat. So I jokingly said, can you do me one that says Crazy Cat Lady? So, Crazy Cat Lady. That's for me to wear in the garden. But I said I had to show it on FlossTube first. There's my Crazy Cat Lady hat. And one last little thing before I go is I do read quite a bit. I generally don't mention books on my FlossTube. I know some people do, but it's something I'd actually like to do, because I think it's always good to let people know what books are good to read, because I often follow recommendations. I know Jessie Marie's recommended a couple that I've read, especially Karen Slaughter's one, and since I've read the first one of hers, I love Karen Slaughter now, so I'm slowly grabbing them all, and especially the Will Trent series, so I've been reading a lot of those. But there's an Aussie author called Monica McInerney that I think I may have mentioned before. Maybe. I've met her a couple of times, and she lives in Dublin now, but so she comes back home every now and then. So when she comes back and does her book tours, I always go and meet her and have a nice chat to her and stuff, and she's really lovely. And she always remembers me, strangely, you know. Don't know why, don't know what impression I made, but obviously I did. But she's really sweet. And when we went to the last book signing, and I was having a chat with her, Mark went with me, and he asked her what sort of authors does she read and what does she recommend. And so she gave us a number of different ones, and one of them was a new Australian author who at that time had only put out the one book. So we went and got it and we read it, and it's absolutely fantastic. I then got her second book when she sent that one out. She's just released a third one, which I started a couple of days ago, and seriously, I forced myself to put it down. I would have finished this in a day and a half because it is so good, and I have to forcibly put it down, otherwise I wouldn't be doing anything else. So I'm going to tell you about it. You have to read Jane Harper. So her first book was The Dry, and the second one was The Force of Nature. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. She's an Aussie author. She writes Australian. So, you know, The Dry was about an Australian family. Force of Nature's set in an Australian setting. I'm not going to tell you about them as such, but this one is also Australian. I started reading this on whatever day it was. I can't remember. It's only a couple of days ago. It might have been Christmas Eve, actually. Was it Christmas Eve? Wasn't Christmas Day. or it might have been Sunday, I can't remember. And we sat outside anyway, and I started reading it. And it was one of those things that the first couple of pages I said to Mark, put your book down, I've got to read this to you. And I read it to him because the way she described the beginning of it, it just like straight away I had to keep reading. And I'm sort of not that much left to go. So I'm forcing myself to put it down after 2 or 3 chapters a day, because one of the things, I don't want to rush it. I want to enjoy it and just keep reading. But I want to get to the end because I want to know what happened. So it's a mystery, but and I guess for me, because I grew up in the Pilbara, this is about outback Queensland. And it's set on a big sheep station, well, cattle station, and so a lot of how she talks about the stuff in the outback and the feeling of the outback, I know, it just reminds me of home. So it is just, I just say, just go and get it. Seriously, get it and read it. It is brilliant. And I think that's it. I think pretty much that's it for the time being. As I mentioned, I will snip it in what I did in the previous video, that I'm not going to put the whole thing up. I'll just pull out the relevant bit that shows my final finish of that peppermint latte. So first up, I have a mirror that I neglected to show you when I did my mirror parade, my beautiful Queen of Peace lady. I completely forgot about her because she was hiding in a drawer in a different spot. I have a big finish, which I'm really pleased about. I have a little finish, which is a FFO already, and I have another FFO to show you, and I've got a whip to show you. So not a lot, but you'll understand why when you see it. I think I'll start with my Queen of Peace. So Queen of Peace, which is a Mirabilia, obviously. I started her, I don't know when I started her, I really should have checked it up, but I've had her on the go about 18 months, I think, probably a bit longer, but might even be 2 years, which is really bad when you see what she looks like. But when I do stitch on her, I absolutely love her, so I've got to try and somehow factor all my mirrors into some sort of a rotation for next year so that I don't neglect them. So where are we up to with this beautiful lady? I think I may very well have showed you her previously on earlier videos, but if not, this is my beautiful, woo, upside down. Get it right. So this is my beautiful, beautiful Queen of Peace. Isn't she gorgeous? Just love, love, love the colours. It's probably the most furthest I've got on any of my mirrors, I think. And this is on a beautiful piece of colour cascade fabric called Hole in the Sky. It is a 28 count Lugana, and it is absolutely, oh, it's an opal, as you can see, a little bit of sparkle. Absolutely beautiful. And my plan is hopefully when I start, what's it called, 3 for Tea in October for my birthday, this will be the fabric I'm going to put her on. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But that was Queen of Peace. So I'm really sorry I didn't show you her in my previous one. Is my book club. Book club is finished. All finished. All finished. All finished. All the way down to the bottom. All done. All done. So pleased. So I did try to finish this in November and I didn't quite get it done. So I had to, I'll tell you about another story in a minute, but I had to put it down, did something, which I'll show you in a minute. Then I picked it back up. So I actually finished putting the buttons on Tuesday night. Now, because my charts were gifted to me, I didn't actually have the buttons in the charts, so I had to go through my stash to see what I could find, because stupid me forgot to go and buy buttons. But the white ones are about right size, so I had white ones. I didn't have enough black buttons, so I substituted little hearts here instead of black buttons. I thought that actually looks quite nice having the purple hearts. The pussycats are okay because he had white eyes. The spiders, I already knew when I stitched these that I probably wouldn't have black buttons, so I actually stitched all of the spiders. I know I should have just gone and bought them, but you know, I didn't. The eyes in the frog are black, which they're supposed to be, so that's good. I don't think you can actually see. Yeah, there we go, black buttons. It's funny, Pam and Steph, when they talk on their videos, they often say they remember where they are when they're stitching something. And I remember exactly where I was when I was doing this. We were sitting in Singapore in our hotel when we went to Singapore in May for my husband's 60th. And I was actually stitching this block in the hotel. We had a couple of hours before we had to go to the airport, and it was raining, so we thought we're not going to walk around Singapore and get hot and humid and disgusting. We just sat in the hotel lobby after we'd checked out, and I stitched for a couple of hours and did that block, so I remember exactly where I was. The rest of them, yeah, well, sitting in my stitchy chair. There's nothing new about those. So the owl had white eyes, so that he was okay. Mr. Pumpkin, well, Mr. Pumpkin was supposed to have black eyes. And I've given him white eyes, which I actually think look better. Personal preference, but I think they look better. Fright was okay, because that's got white eyes. Then we come to the Brew one. Now, the Brew one is supposed to have a black button on the hat. I think it was actually 2 black buttons. No, I put a little blue star, which I think actually looks better. Personal opinion, okay now. Monster was okay. No, is Monster supposed to be black eyes as well? I can't remember now. But Monster's got white eyes. And the bats, both of those bats are supposed to have black buttons, but I stitched a cross stitch in there and just put a button on that one. And then Halloween has white eyes. Look at the sparkle. Has white on there, so that was okay. And then that was it. Now somewhere, I'm going to tell you my boo-boo. Somewhere, I don't know where. In fact, I know it's up here somewhere. I miscounted how far I went down for my start. So I ended up slightly off down here in the border. So that should all be down, like just one extra row down, and I just... You know what? I fudged and it works. It works fine. You wouldn't know if I didn't tell you, would you? See, too honest for my own good. So this is it. This is my Boo Club. All finished in its glory. And this fabric is 28 count Lugana in a colourway called Wicked Garden from Colour Cascade Fabrics. Just love it. Just absolutely love it. So pleased with this. Move on to the next thing. So firstly, I will show you an FFO. So remember in my last video I showed you this beauty? This is Santa's Coming from Swallock Stitchery, which was out of the 2017 Just Cross Stitch Orney issue. And I decided I would FFO it on Saturday. Just as a standard, I actually tried to put a different fabric on the back. This was something different. So I've just done that. Really simple, just, you know, mounted piece of, what do you call it, mounted mat board. Just did mat board with some batting behind it, stuck it together, and that was it. But I wanted to do this because I haven't FFO'd for, oh, I don't know, at least 2 years, I suppose. I just don't do it anymore. I used to do a lot of FFOing because with my blog, we used to have a lot of exchanges, and I used to FFO at least 4 or 5 times a year when I did exchanges. But because I hadn't done one for a while, I thought I'd better practice before I show you what I did. So I had a big one, that, well, not a big one, but an important one that I didn't want to stuff up, so I thought I'll have a practice. And I'm quite pleased with this. It actually came out really well. So yeah, that's that one. So this is my big achievement for the week. So you haven't seen this at all. If you've been on Instagram, you would have seen this. And so going back to the story I just told very quickly, the team meeting that I'm going to next Thursday, the GM that I said I've introduced you to cross stitch, I drew her name in the Secret Santa for lunch tomorrow, because they've invited me to their team lunch, and given my new MD is not here and he's in Mongolia, or flying back from Mongolia, I decided I would go. So when I drew her name for Secret Santa, I was like, I know what I'm going to do. Straight away, we had a $20 limit on the present, but straight away I knew what I was going to do. I had the perfect fabric, because I've been looking for something to do on this fabric. So the stars started to align, and I pulled it out, started it, managed to stitch it in, I don't know, about 3 or 4 days or something. Did that practice FFO, so I knew what I was going to do. We then went out on Sunday and I had 1 or 2 sangrias. Came home and went, I ain't going to try an FFO after drinking sangria. So Monday night I got home. Well, actually I didn't go to work on Monday, I worked from home. So, well, I did go to work, I worked from home. So Monday, in between working from home, I was doing cutting and gluing and stuff. And I finished this off on Tuesday, and this is it. So this is Peppermint Latte, and it is from the 2010, it's a Casey Bornegorio design, and it came from the 2010 Just Cross Stitch Orney issue. The fabric is beautifully, look at the shine on that fabric. So this is an opal 32 count. It was a linen, wasn't it? Can't remember now. Is it a linen? Looks like it. No, I think it's Lagana actually. It might be 32 count. It is. It's 32 count Lagana. So it's an opal, obviously. It's from Color Cascade Fabrics. Now this was one of the ones that I bought in, she calls her studio session, so it didn't actually have a name. And probably if I go through the website I would find it, because I actually want to try and find some more of this fabric. I just love the colours. It's like a real raspberry colour. It's really pretty. And this is it. So I just did the same FFO, actually got the same fabric on the back. So it's got sort of like a Christmas tree and gold and silver. And I decided to pick out the gold because there is the sparkle is actually a gold sparkle. I had some, I've got a little bit of fluff on it. I had a little bit of a gold ribbon, so I've made a gold bow, put a little gold pin in there to hold it, and I just had some of this gold stuff in the box, which I put around the outside. And I attached a little butterfly, and on the back it's something, what does it say? Something about handmade, oh, crafted for you, created for you on that, so. So I hope everybody has a lovely new year, and I hope you all get through the new year festivities safe and sound. We'll be back in 2019, and I'm looking forward to 2019. I've got stacks of things I want to start. I'm doing my level best for next year to really do the proper stitch from stash, but I know that, yeah, that won't really happen, I know, but we're going to try. I've got quite a lot kitted up the last couple of months. I've done a lot of kitting up with different mirrors and some with, I think, needle and thread designs and stuff, so that I've got stacks to start. I've also got a stack of charts from old magazines that I want to start. I've got a whole 12 orneys from the 2018 Christmas orney magazine that I've got to start for the Facebook group. So I've got stacks of starts planned for the year. So there'll be lots of stitching, and yeah, it'll be fun. It will be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again next year. This will be my last video for the year, but I might do a bit of a snippet of something if I manage to finish and stick it in for next year. But I won't record another big video until next year. So I wish everybody a very happy new year. I hope you all stay safe over the new year festivities, whatever you wish to do, going out partying or staying home and stitching. I'll be staying home and stitching. We don't generally go out on New Year's Eve anymore. I'm too old for that now. Yeah, whatever. It's just I prefer to stay home and stitch, essentially. So enjoy yourself, have fun, and I'd like to say thank you very much for supporting me since I've come back to FlossTube this year. I sort of had a bit of a break from it. I still follow and watch everybody's, but I just didn't record for a while. So now I'm back. I sort of like to try and get into a routine. Same as with my blog. I haven't done anything with my blog since about July, so I've got to get back into that. So there's lots of stuff I need to get myself organised with for next year. But it's going to be a good year. Any way to look at it, it's going to be a brilliant year. Look forward to seeing you then, and thank you again for liking, subscribing, commenting, and just being a person to be friendly with and to stitch with. And I'll see you all again next year. You take care. See you soon. Bye.